Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's service. We will begin this morning's service with the ringing of the Kansho, followed by sutra chanting of Juseige. We will then be led in the loving kindness meditation by the Dharma School 7th and 8th grade class. Following the loving kindness meditation, we will then have a Dharma message by Minister's Assistant John Arima. Thank you, and please enjoy this service.
Namanda, 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 Namanda. Namanda, Butsunamanda, 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 Butsunamanda,
May all beings be happy and well.
May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and harmony.
May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to me.
May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well.
May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and harmony.
May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and harmony.
May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and harmony.
May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and harmony.
May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and harmony.
May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and harmony.
Please join us in Kansho.
Namo Midabutsu.
Namo
Midabutsu. Namo Midabutsu.
Namo Midabutsu.
Namo Midabutsu.
Namo Midabutsu.
Namanda, 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 Namanda. Ignorance and blind passions abound, pervading everywhere like innumerable particles of dust. Desire and hatred arising out of conflict and accord are like high peaks and mountain ridges. Namo Amida. Namo Amida. Namo Amida. Namanda. 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 Hello, everyone. Thank you for viewing our online service for March 21st of 2021. Today's opening meditation is from Shinran Shonin's Hymns of the Dharma Ages, or Shozo Matsu Wasan. It's part of its description of the last Dharma age. The last Dharma age, or Mappo, is sometimes called the age of defilement. Over the past months, Reverend Mukujima and I have discussed the Dharma ages in Dharma messages and some discussion sessions. And I bring this up again because of how this passage reflects the world currently surrounding us. The imagery, especially in the last line, is meant to show that desire and hatred are increasing so much that they're like high peaks and mountain ridges that make greater the divides caused by desire and hatred. Shinran completed writing the hymns of the Dharma ages in 1258, over 750 years ago. And it's amazing how these words can reflect the world around us right now. The Dharma message I'm giving today is different than the one I had planned last week. The murders of 8 people in the Atlanta, Georgia area last Tuesday seems to be part of an increased in crimes directed towards Asians and Asian Americans. And it's compelled me to address the question of how we might, as Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, respond to these issues. I'd like to address the families of Dharma school age children who are watching. At a Mountain View Dharma School teachers meeting last week, we discussed a recent workshop called Making Our Dharma School Classrooms anti-racist environments. It was held by the BCA's Bay District Dharma School teachers on March 13th. And for those parents interested, you can find this workshop on YouTube through the BCA Center for Buddhist Education YouTube channel. The Mountain View Dharma School teachers who attended were really moved by the workshop. And something they shared that struck me was the realization that Dharma School students are not too young to learn about racial injustice. Part of the workshop showed that there are many resources and books available for all ages, as young as pre-K, that address these topics in age-appropriate ways. I took a quick look at some of these children's books and that teach on these issues, and something in one of them really reinforced that thought to me. In a book titled "Something Happened in Our Town," a child's story about racial injustice, the opening passage of the book goes like this. Something bad happened in our town. The news was on TV, the radio, and the internet. The grown-ups didn't think the kids knew about it. But the kids in Miss Garcia's class heard some older kids talking about it, and they had questions. It made me remember when I was young, before the internet. We usually did hear about news that our parents tried to keep away from us, from the older kids. As much as we would sometimes like to, there's less and less that can be done to keep news away from even the youngest children. Going back to the question of how we as Jodo Shinshu Buddhists might want to respond to what's happening around us, I think to turn attention to the Eightfold Path. Since the Eightfold Path is common across all Buddhism, I hope that maybe all Buddhists can find this helpful. I'm not going to go through each of the 8 as we normally would when we do the group recitation of the Eightfold Path, but rather I'd like to discuss how different parts of the path have common threads. The first thread can be called the wisdom aspect of the Eightfold Path, and it covers right view and right thought. In Buddhism, wisdom is being able to see things as they really are, without the delusions caused by our greed, anger, and ignorance. Referring to the killings in Atlanta, the suspect told investigators his reason for his actions, which in turn led to an insensitive statement by one of the sheriff's officers. And I won't go into those details, but what I would instead like to focus on was a response that came from Georgia State Representative B. Nguyen. Representative Nguyen stated, "It was a brutal and violent crime in which racism, misogyny, gender-based violence, and lax gun laws intersect." Now, that statement really helps bring into focus the reality of things as they are. It's not a simple one-dimensional issue. There are many causes and conditions that led to these tragic events. Her statement helps bring us closer to the wisdom aspect by pushing aside some of the delusions and approaching right view. And once we have right view, it will lead to right thoughts and intentions. The next thread is the morality aspect of the Eightfold Path, and it covers right speech, right conduct, and right livelihood. Practicing morality is a result of understanding the reality of things just as they are and taking actions based on that understanding. Some of the words President Biden stated after he met with Asian American leaders in Atlanta were this: "Hate and violence often hide in plain sight. It is often met with silence. That's been true throughout our history. But that has to change, because our silence is complicity. We cannot be complicit. We have to speak out. We have to act. So placing political perspectives aside, if we listen to the words, the message is this. The reality of the situation is that hate and violence have been a part of our history. And with that understanding, right thought will lead us to speak out and take action. How much one chooses to speak and act is up to each individual. But by doing so, we become engaged in the world around us. The amount of engagement can vary from person to person. But to practice morality in our lives is what's important for us to be able to live lives of gratitude. Now, the last thread in the Eightfold Path is called the concentration aspect, which covers right effort, right mindfulness, right meditation. This is the mental development aspect of the Eightfold Path. Mindfulness is to be aware of your reactions to everything around you. Once we are aware of how we are reacting, then we can make the right effort to respond thoughtfully in a way that follows the morality aspect of the path. Right meditation reminds us to take time to think and reflect, to concentrate on things as they really are. Free our minds from delusions, to reflect on our imperfect selves, to help free our minds from our own delusions, to use an understanding of reality to develop right view and right thoughts, to lead us to a moral path and become engaged thoughtfully in the world around us. Following the Eightfold Path is a way for Buddhists to respond to the reality of the world around us. As we can see, the Eightfold Path is not linear, and it's not strictly circular. Just as the Dharma wheel has 8 spokes that all meet in the center and are also connected by a circle. To follow the Eightfold Path is to use this interconnectedness to go wherever needed at any time. Difficulties surround us, like innumerable particles of dust. They make us dirty, and it can sometimes blind us. Conflicts that lead to hatred create divides as high as mountains. We can never fully overcome these difficulties. All we can do is follow the Eightfold Path to thoughtfully live a moral life, engage with the world around us. Once we're able to do so, our hearts can fill with gratitude, and we can fully take refuge in the wisdom and compassion of Amitabha. For us foolish beings, full of the evils of greed, anger, and ignorance, the way towards attaining birth in the Pure Land becomes clear now, in the last Dharma age, the age of defilement. We take refuge in Amita's wisdom and compassion. Please join me in Kansho. Ignorance and blind passions abound, pervading everywhere like innumerable particles of dust. Desire and hatred arising out of conflict and accord are like high peaks and mountain ridges. Namandas, 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 namandas. Thank you, everyone. Please stay healthy and stay safe.
Thank you, everybody, for attending today's service. Thank you to the Dharma School 7th and 8th grade class for leading the Love and Kindness meditation, and thank you to Mr. John Arima for your Dharma talk today. Following this service, we will be having a compassionate conversation led by the Mountain View Buddhist Temple's Engaged Sangha Committee, and we will be discussing what a land acknowledgement is. Please stay tuned for the compassionate conversation. Thank you, everybody.